The Israeli forces were arrested in dozens of arrests, while suppressing Jenin and the areas around Nablus. The Christmas Day in the occupied West Bank began with an attack on the refugee camp and a few arrests. On Monday morning, he watched a few people in the area that saw dozens of arrests and a 17-year-old child. Jenin, which is commonly seen as a symbol of Palestine's resistance to occupations, has been repeatedly targeted by the Israeli forces since the war with Hamas in Gaza on October 7. On Monday, the Jenin-based Freedom Theater, a popular symbol of peace and hope, which was recently raided and destroyed by Israeli troops, explained how Israeli forces raided the camp with flares. Al-Jazeera, who reported from refugee camp, said Imran Khan said that the Israeli army raided at least 10 houses by saying that Palestinians were looking for Palestinians. However, no detention was made. Israeli forces asked Palestinian warriors to go out and leave themselves, but this did not happen. Genin Refugee Camp, the most dominant camp in the occupied West Bank. Sisrail forces destroy the symbol of any resistance or nationalism in the camp. At least 9 young men were arrested at Al-Jadama village in northeast of Jenin. While raids camp and Jenin have now ended, Hamdah Salhut reported that Nablus, Jericho, Ramallah and Bethlehem, which Christians believe that Jesus Christ was the place of birth, were raided by Israel forces overnight. The Israeli forces arrested at least 20 people, including elderly village Burka in northwest of Nablus city. Nablus occupied West Bank. Moreover, Palestinian news agency WAFA said that 17-year-old child was injured after a live ammunition fired during raid in town of Aqaba in north of Israeli forces Tubas. WAFA reported that Israeli forces arrested another Tubas resident before withdrawing from the town. Israel said it aims for Hamas Gaza, but violence in the West Bank has taken place despite Hamas' limited presence region. In addition to activities of the Israeli army, attacks of Israeli settlers are increasing. At least 700,000 Israeli settlements, most of whom are completely or partially built on private Palestinian territory, live in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, fortified only in Jewish settlements. Increased attacks, shots, knives, rock-throwing beatings, which have been folded in the last 3 months, contain serious damage to swaddles and houses, vehicles, agricultural land. The United Nations said that almost half of all events either Israeli forces accompany or actively support the attackers. Rights groups, Palestinians and some of the international community hit Israel because they did not do enough to stop the settler violence. At beginning of this month, countries such as Belgium and United States announced that they would implement visa restrictions to Israeli settlers who participated in weakening of peace, security or stability in occupied West Bank. At a cabinet meeting on Sunday, Government